Good morning, guys, or good night. My name is Super Autopets Pharma 21927, and today I'm going to be talking about portfolio again. So I already made a video the other time, responding to a Reddit post. I'm filming in my room, so I have to put the mic closer to my mouth. It'll be like a ASMR type thing, but I don't want to wake my parents and my brother. So, anyways, um, yeah, portfolio. It seems like when it comes to uni admissions in Singapore, it always comes down to this keyword, right? But I read this Reddit post from this anonymous user like one day ago, and it's basically echoing what I said in the previous video, and also my thoughts personally of for when students come to me or juniors come to me and they ask me, how do I build a portfolio for uni? And so I'll just read the post and then I'll interject when I feel like it. Okay. So the post name, the title is "The Portfolio Doesn't Exist." The perfect portfolio doesn't exist. Or at least it doesn't exist in the way that you think it does. As people start to settle into the first weeks of JC and eventually the start of the poly term in about a month, I've seen a lot of talk about portfolio this, portfolio that, like, will attending X event show that I'm a good fit for Y course? For example, if you want to go into a comp sci course, simply attend a tech conference. The real answer is that for most things, barring competitions such as Olympiads, doing these things will have little to no impact on your quote-unquote portfolio. Most places that you apply do not recognize mere participation. A lot of the posters on this sub incorrectly prioritize volume and quantity over quality and direction. If you ever wonder how your superstar cohort mates end up in prestigious courses, this is usually why. Okay, so this is about halfway through the post. I think that this one sentence sums it up though. Quality and direction will always trump volume and quantity. Now, the feeble-minded, prestige-whoring Singaporean JC kid mind cannot comprehend that there are 300 VIA hours. It can, in fact, be less useful to a uni admissions than something seemingly useless, like, let's say, a Japanese cultural club or something like that. And that's because over time, we, or rather, these anecdotes passed down from generation to generation of students about how this guy, he did a lot of volunteering and he got into this school, and so we should all do volunteering. And even if you're not into volunteering, you should do a bit of volunteering just to round out your portfolio. This is such a dumbass mindset, because at the end of the day, these people who are just looking to round out their portfolio, they are doing this, well, whatever the fuck that means. They're still doing this just for the sake of uni admissions and nothing more. Not because they actually care about volunteering, right? And so when they do end up doing the volunteering, it's half-assed. Most of the time, it's not impactful because they don't care. And it ends up not even contributing to their portfolio or being an insignificant speck, right? Just taking out word count. The Singaporean kiasu mind cannot comprehend quality over quantity. And I feel like this is an idea that needs to be drilled into you guys, especially for be it US or UK admissions. The more competitive these admissions are, the more you'll see this trend emerge where quality will always trump quantity. So, the OP says that, even besides competitions like Olympiads, doing these things have no impact on your portfolio. I would actually think that, doing Olympiads that you don't care about also won't mean that much on your portfolio. Because in the end, right, what Olympiads are is they're basically a structured competition for whatever academic domain you want to do. I did do an Olympiad for AI since I'm an AI kid. And I know many friends who have also done Olympiads. But at the end of the day, what an Olympiad signals to a college is that this kid, he's very interested in the subject and he's willing to grind and put in effort, and he achieved X result in the Olympiad amongst X participants. So end of the day, it just shows the grind, determination, capability, which are all important things. But you think about it, if you didn't give a fuck about the Olympiad, what makes you think you'll be able to do well? Sure, you'll put in all the grind, you'll be grinding, you'll be putting in effort. Maybe you can force yourself to study really, really hard. But is the effort to results ratio really worth it? Compare that to a kid who is, into robotics, and instead of joining a robotics competition like, RoboCop, he instead chooses to do his own passion project. And, because his passion project, maybe building robots or whatever shit, is something that he really genuinely cares about, it won't feel like work to him. And so his effort to results ratio will be much lesser. And I will argue that the kid who does the passion project will 9 out of 10 times have something much more substantial to write about on his college portfolio. People don't understand that college portfolio is not a list of accolades, okay? You should never ever think of it as a list of accolades. It's a story, okay? When someone looks at your portfolio, right, they should be able to map out a very, very, not a super accurate, but a somewhat meaningfully accurate representation of your life, right? Not just academic, by the way, all aspects of your life. So this includes non-academic hobbies like, maybe football or art. So it's your life story. Do you really want your life story to be, a bunch of Olympiads that you didn't fucking care about? Seriously? It's just wasting your own time. Why not dedicate your time to something you really, really care about, that you will be proud of to share about, that something where, you know that if you pursue this direction, you'll be so emotionally passionate about it that no matter what the outcome, fail or success, you will have a story to tell. Let me give you an example. So I did football as a CCA. People don't know that previously I actually did robotics. So I did robotics with the school team in RI for about 5 months. I did a competition with them. And then after the competition, I decided that I didn't really have a passion for robotics and it wasn't meaningful to me, even though I loved coding and I love building things. So it seems kind of counterintuitive, right? But it was genuinely what I felt. And so I chose to go to the teacher in charge for the football CCA, and I went to beg him very desperately for a spot on the team. And because of my passion and conviction, when I ended up getting a spot on the team, thank God some other kid left, I had the passion and the conviction to work my ass off. I wouldn't say I was the best, but I did put in quite a substantial amount of effort by my standards, at least, to make it into the school team in the end. And so this is something that I'm really proud of. I'm not gonna try and act like I'm some big shit. Okay, I only played 5 minutes in NSG during the semifinals. Okay, I'm not gonna act like I was like a starter or anything. Okay, that's the reality. But even though I played 5 minutes, when I tell people about what I did during football, I have so many memories, I have so many stories to tell. And it's something that I'm genuinely proud of. And I'm even proud of, being a bench warmer and only playing for 5 minutes. And honestly, this would have made me more happy than winning, RoboCup 2 years in a row as in RI. So do shit that's meaningful to you, and let your portfolio tell your life story. Chase your passions and do what you actually want to do. I promise you, there's gonna be kids watching this that are still skeptical. Like, they'll think, oh, but look at it, all the kids who got into MIT, right? They just grind Olympiads, and once you get like, a IOI gold medal or a, international math Olympiad gold medal, you auto get in. So what the fuck is this guy talking about? For the uni recommendations, they still care about it, even though they might not. The students themselves might not have cared about the Olympiads. Okay, sure, if you want to think so narrow-mindedly, sure. But do you think a kid who got into MIT grinding IMO for probably like half of his life, even though he didn't care about IMO, and once he get into MIT, how do you think he feels? Do you think he feels like, wow, thank God I did the IMO? I'm so I love the IMO. I'm gonna continue it, even during college. No, I promise you, most of these kids, they genuinely just see it as a means to an end. Now, I'm not shitting on Olympiad specifically, but I'm saying the kids who see Olympiads as most kids do see Olympiads as a means to an end. And then after they go to college, they just completely ditch it. So what kind of story do you think that kid from MIT is gonna be telling his peers? Oh, what do you do in high school? Yeah, I kinda just like stay at home and I did a bunch of math Olympiad questions. Oh, so are you like, tell me about it. Like, well, what kind of questions interest you? What's your favorite field of math? I don't really know. I just like solve the problems and then like I just get it right. Bro, just shut the fuck up, you fucking geek. You get what I mean, right? These college admissions officers, they sift through thousands upon thousands of applications on a weekly basis. If you feed them some meaningless, soulless bullshit like that, they're gonna see through it. I would say MIT is a outlier school where they more specifically put a heavier priority on Olympiads. But come on, guys, even outside of a university admissions perspective, do you really want your JC life story or your poly life story to be just doing a bunch of things that didn't mean anything to you? Not taking any risks, forever staying in your comfort zone. Let me tell you, like, I could not even imagine how unfulfilling that is, and I'm pretty sure you don't need me to tell you either. Okay, take that risk, okay? People are gonna say they're gonna judge you, right? If you do something that's not the norm. That's just how it is in Singapore. But who cares, right? Genuinely, who cares? At the end of the day, as long as it makes you happy, you'll be able to tell good stories about it in the future. You'll be able to be proud of it. You should do it, right? Let other people do what they want to do. You want to start that startup, go do that startup. You want to run that business, go do that business. You want to, learn that skill, go learn that random skill. I don't know, underwater welding or whatever shit. Just go. Oh, I think I think this idea of portfolio farming has done irreparable damage to the Singapore JC and Poly community, especially all the talented kids who do have real interest, but because of the cultural mindset, they just choose to all follow the same paths. It's so stupid. You should be enjoying what you do as a teenager, right? If you're doing things you don't like or are begrudgingly taking on extra commitments with the hopes that you might make it to an idealized state post poly or post Ace, you're in for a rude awakening. And so, that's about all I have to say. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be getting my A-level results, so I'll probably stitch that in about, I don't know, 10 seconds. But I will just speak a bit about the A's as well, I guess. So I feel like at the start of J1 I was genuinely quite concerned about my A levels results. But because throughout JC I constantly, chased and took risk and did things that made me happy, eventually I built up a portfolio that I genuinely am proud of. Not because of accolades and not because, I really damn 好脸 or prideful. But it's just reflecting back on the journey, seeing how much I've grown and seeing the progress that I've made genuinely makes me so happy. And so I know, like, whatever results come out tomorrow, this is not cope, by the way, don't say it's cope. But whatever results come out tomorrow, I genuinely could not give less of a fuck. Like, the journey of building up, you could call it a portfolio, but what it is really, your life experiences and journey over the last 2 years have been so invaluable to me that honestly that meant way more than whatever result I'm gonna see on that paper tomorrow. And I hope that you guys will be in the same spot as me, when when you're collecting your A level results, or if you're in poly, then whatever your final report card is. This is the freedom and sort of the liberating happiness that you get from chasing your dreams and not living without any regrets. I have no regrets. Okay, I do have some regrets during my JC life, but very little. Okay, compared and almost negligible compared to what I'm proud of. Okay, so just to reiterate, I believe in you guys. If you guys have something you want to do, don't think about it as a portfolio. Think about it as your life and your life experiences. If no one else supports you, I support you. Trust me, I've been in your shoes before. It'll be worth it. Alright, bye. Alright guys, test. Alright guys, I'm back. So I just got it like 2 hours ago. Yeah, it went well. Got my 70 RP and then did pretty well for my H3 also. So I'm happy about it. Yeah, and I guess that concludes the video. Honestly, like, my cortisol levels were pretty low the whole time I was there. I wasn't that stressed and that nervous, cause once again, I have faith in that the things that I've committed myself to over the last 2 years, that they were worth it and they were meaningful to me, and that means more than whatever whatever results that could have came up. See you guys next week. Bye.